Look, I don't think Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox are going to play that poorly week in and week out. But if they do play poorly, if they don't live up to their reputations, their standards, they're going to have an issue in those 40 front stopping the run, because Hassan Reddick's undersized. They're built for the passing game. Kaiser White's undersized. That's a pass rush. That's very good pass rusher, very good coverage linebacker. The safeties, they're coverage guys.
It's a Tuesday here on Birds 365 on the JAKIB Sports YouTube channel. You got Mac and Mac back. Good to have John McMullen back from Detroit with me here today as we go a day past a sweaty Eagles victory over the Detroit Lions. Johnny Mac travels back and forth to Detroit, no issues?
No, not other than your typical travel issues. So it's a bear to get anywhere these days, but no issues.
Okay, good.
Delays or anything of that stage.
Good to hear. Know you made it out safe and sound. No, good to know you made it back safe and sound and back in time to hear Nick Sirianni, which I've got some questions on that. But I haven't had a chance to talk to you about the 38-35 win. And I got to say this. Yesterday here on the show, and Barrett did a really nice job filling in for you. We have our stream guys, my own personal social media accounts that I got a lot of Eagle fans who want to chime in, share their opinions with me. And last night I was on WIP after the Monday Night Football game. And the thing that surprised me most about the reaction, now this is just a very personal thing. I listened to WIP yesterday. Yeah, you check out other people's social media. But just from my perspective, people worrying too much about Jalen Hurts running the football as much as he did.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm like, I can't. There's not this magic number of carries that, he's going to get hurt. He's over 125. It's similar. You and I go to the baseball analogy, probably me more than you, but you're a baseball guy. So I go to baseball analogies a lot. Same thing with pitch counts. Like, 99's fine, but once you hit 100, it's over. The wall is, it drives me insane that people think they can legislate these types of things. So I'm with you 100%. It struck me during the game, and I said it on the post-game show, the JAKIB Media post-game show with Mike and Derek and Devin and Seth Joyner. And I said it to Seth, this isn't a run-first team. This isn't a pass-first team. This is a Jalen Hurts first team. Here's how I describe it. Everybody's saying, can you win a game because of Jalen Hurts? Well, you just saw it. They won a game because of Jalen Hurts. He won that game for them. They didn't win despite the quarterback. They won because of the quarterback. And why did they do that? Well, a large part of it, not all of it, because he's a very unique player, made some big plays throwing the football as well, especially the deep throw to A.J. Brown. Most of it, though, was with his legs. And the Lions didn't know what to do with it. That Dan Campbell, Alex Anzalone, the other Malcolm Rodriguez, the rookie line, they're like, wow, after the game. I'm having to deal with that. And so many times, and I'm glad Nick said this. Nick said it after the game. I think he said it again yesterday. He talked for so long yesterday. He bailed us out so many times. Maybe he called the wrong thing. He's bailing them out. Maybe the Lions got loose on a blitz once. He bailed them out. I'm with you 100%, Jody. I can't worry about it.
Well, I think you can. But here's what annoyed me, because I think it's an actual legitimate concern. Because he did carry it, they said 19 times with the official number, but he took a knee at the end. So it was actual 18 carries. They had to, it is of concern. He was hit more than any other quarterback in the National Football League week 1. I'm not just going to pretend that didn't happen. But here's the way I think if you're an Eagle fan afterwards, you have to look at this game. Like John McMullen said, they won because of Jalen Hurts. That has to be the lead paragraph. That's where you have to start your conversation, and then you can continue and get to the point of, yeah, but they need to be careful because they're putting Jalen at risk. Jalen's putting himself at risk plenty. And are you ready to have Gardner Minshew? You want to end up like the Cowboys and have Gardner Minshew playing for 2 months? So it needs to be noted. It has to be taken into the overall consideration. But it can't be the first thing. Not after the game that he had, not after the game-saving plays that he made. You have to acknowledge that they won the game more so because of him than anyone else. And then you can go into, yeah, but he's still running a lot, and he's putting himself at risk a lot. And, yeah, he's a tough guy, and he's a big guy. He's a strong guy, so he can withstand a lot more pounding than other quarterbacks in the NFL. But if you're going to do it enough, you're going to roll the dice enough, at some point it could come up craps. And then that's what happens to the Eagles. Their season goes into crapper. So I think it's a very fair acknowledgement and point to make. But come on, at least give him credit for what he accomplished yesterday, which was winning the Eagles the game.
Well, you should certainly give him credit first. And, yeah, maybe that could be 10th or 11th on your nitpick list. Here's why I think it's so low. You know, and this is something I also mentioned to Seth, and he agreed with because, and I bring that up because he's a former NFL player. So he knows, and he's played for different coaches. And one thing I've heard from literally, not figuratively, literally used correctly, every single coach I've ever talked to has used the cliche, control what you can control, to the point where you roll your eyes, you hear it so much. But it's true. It's a cliche for a reason. I can't control. You bring up, do I want to see Gardner Minshew? No, I don't want to see Gardner Minshew, but I can't control it. Just like, how did Dak Prescott get hurt? Not running the football. You know, you talk about Teron Smith in Dallas. They can't control that. So what if Jordan Mailata goes down next week? I don't want to see Jack Driscoll. Derek Barnett, you saw him go down. Now, I know fans don't like him and don't think it's a big deal, but it's a big deal for the Eagles' rotation. Non-contact ACL injury. You can't – I don't care what any of these sports science – you can't control injuries. There is a part of randomness that drives people crazy, and they want to control it. They want to control it.
I understand.
I can't control it.
Can I interject a second?
Yeah.
So then the Eagles not playing guys in preseason is folly, because
it is to a certain degree. From the if they think, here's where it's folly, Jody. If they think they're controlling injuries, it's folly.
That's my point.
It's folly. Now you know it is. You know, if you stay in bed, right, you're less likely to sprain your ankle than if you go out and, you know, run a couple miles. So there is some, you know, you're increasing your odds. I'll give them that. But to say that you're controlling the injury impact, yeah, I mean, look, there's two sides to think about everything. The side I just mentioned, yeah, if you're going to sit in your chair, you're going to be safer than if you're out doing something active. Yes, unquestionably. On the other hand, if you're going to sit in your chair, and then say, okay, this is the day I got to go out and do something active, are you more likely to get injured because you're not prepared, because you've been sitting in your chair and you've atrophied for 3 weeks? So, I mean, there's two ends of the equation. And I think all these people trying to, I have the idea to prevent injuries. No. And when it comes to Jalen Hurts, here's the issue. First of all, some of it's baked in. He rushed it 17 times. That's not going to happen every week. They needed it this week.
Right.
They needed it to get over the hump. It's not going to happen every week. It's not like, oh, he's going to run it 7 times a week. We're going to project over 17 games. No, there are going to be games where they don't need it. And maybe the passing game is cooking a little bit more, and maybe the running game, absent Jalen Hurts. Miles had a big day, but you get the point. They're not going to need it to that point each and every week. So a lot of it's baked in. Something else that Nick said that I liked if we got to throw it 50 times, we're going to throw it 50 times. If we're going to run it 50 times to win, we're going to run it 50 times. If Jalen's going to run it 20 times, Jalen's going to run it 20. Just get to the finish line. That's what I like about Nick Sirianni. He does seem to, all right, Howie and Jeffrey, you can have the off season. You can talk about whatever you want, what you want. When that game starts, I'm going to try to win that game. I like that about Nick Sirianni.
All right, and as do I. And when he said that yesterday, I know some people had a problem with it. I didn't. I'm with you. I liked it that he said, in the moment, we're going to do what we have to do to win the football game. And the pre-planning and what we think what should happen, we have to be able to adjust on the fly. And if it's going to take this for us to win, we're going to do it. If it's going to take that for us to win, we're going to do it. I like that. How do they not adjust and play Jordan Davis more in the second half? After they get to the half, and they've been having the ball run down their throat on plays where he's not on the field, they come out in the second half and use him the same limited amount of times that they did. I would ask Nick the follow. Well, then why don't you play? If you're going to do whatever it takes, if you're going to be able to adjust on the fly, if you've got a preset number of how you want to do things before it happens, and then the game unfolds and you're going to be ready, willing, and able to adjust. How do they have Jordan Davis playing so little when they're having the ball run down their throat when he's not on the field?
Yeah, that's a legitimate criticism that I agree with. You know, when he was on the field, the Lions were under 3 yards per carry. When he was off the field, they were at 10 yards per carry.
And the Eagles are an analytics team.
Yeah.
I don't want to say they live and die with it, but they're proud of the fact that they're one of the more analytically driven teams. How do you get around that analytic?
Yeah. I don't know, but they tried. They were like, well, guys just tackled better. They had a really bad day tackling. So I think Pro Football folks, 30 teams played, right? So not counting last night because they haven't formulated that yet. Eagles were 30th of 30 when it came to tackling. In the NFL. A lot of it was they tackled a little bit better when Jordan was in there. Now, how much did that have to do with Jordan Davis? Maybe a little bit. But I am concerned from this perspective, Jody. I don't think Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox are going to play that poorly week in and week out. But if they do play poorly, if they don't live up to their reputations, their standards, they're going to have an issue in those 40 fronts stopping the run because Hassan Reddick's undersized. They're built for the passing game. Kaiser White's undersized. That's a pass. That's a very good pass rusher, very good coverage linebacker. The safeties, they're coverage guys. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Marcus, they're coverage guys. They're not big Jamal Adams thumpers, who also got hurt, by the way. He's going to miss the season. You know, they're going to have issues if they're using that 40 front against teams that can run. And then part is the other. Look, the Lions' offensive line is better than people think it is. It is a top 10 offensive line when Ragnow is healthy. And they didn't even have Vaitai. And it's still top 10. And you're trying to roll out those guys. Sometimes you do have to, you know, I talked about the Eagles' arrogance in coming into this game. I think they're a little arrogant against that offensive line, thinking, well, we can stop them with a 4-man front. And they couldn't, and they didn't adjust. So the fact that they didn't adjust, I think that's the legitimate criticism for Jonathan Gannon that people can levy at him, but they're over the top. You know, I mean, week one, but overreaction Monday is awesome, but week one overreaction Monday is just unbelievable. It is all across the league.
All right, for that Lions offensive line, which you're saying is top 10 without Big V and Ragnow not being 100%, but he played, so give him the nod for being a tough guy, sucking it up, going out there and getting it done. The Commanders come to town this week for the Lions. Their defense is supposed to be okay, but they're still missing their stud defensive end, and they gave up 20-some-odd points to the Jags. Oh, I'm going to take under 35 for the Lions this week.
Well, you should.
If you want to tell me, oh, my God, that Lions offensive line, what an offense they're rolling out there. I'll take under 35. they won't be getting 35 against the Commanders. And, oh, by the way, the Eagles supposed to be better than the Commanders, so why'd the Eagles give up 35 points?
No,
by the way, on that 35, I think it's worth noting, no cheapy drives. 4 of the drives, 75 yards.
Let me make this real quick, Jody, before we get to break, because Bob's popped in the green room. I didn't say the Lions had a great offense. I think I think the Eagles should be embarrassed. Jared Goff. I don't think they have splashy playmakers. Maybe Jameson Williams turns into that. I think T.J. Hawkinson's a good tight end, but he's not explosive. I think St. Brown's a good slot receiver, but he's not explosive. I think Swift is a good running back, but he's not explosive. They should have been able to stop that team. But what they do have is a good offensive line. And they do have a good offensive line. And when Decker's out there and Penei Sewell's turning into what people thought he was going to be, and you have one of the best centers in the game. And, oh, by the way, the guard, Jackson's not bad either. They had a problem with it. And they didn't adjust.
Shame on the Eagles. The defense was lousy. Offense was very good. Offense won the day. Jalen Hurts won the day. Yeah, Jonathan Gannon's got some explaining to do. Is he talking to you guys today?
Yeah. Happy Tuesday.
They're gonna roll somebody else out there. They're gonna send Gannon out. All right, good. He's got questions he needs to answer. As does our first guest. Be very interesting to see, because at times we get the glass half full Bob Groats, and at times we get the glass.
I think we're getting the glass half empty, but I don't
think
know.
So. Yeah, we'll find out. He surprised us being as glass half full as he was last time. Bob Groats of the Delco Times going to be our first guest today. He's up next on Birds 365.